And welcome back here on Prospects Nation TV. I'm Marcus Burnett, joined by JL Hemingway as we bring you more PSB May Day Challenge action. This matchup features the Louisiana Lady Pumas taking on the Cincinnati Angels. Hemi, we've been looking forward to this one. Give us a synopsis of exactly why.
Marcus, is a big-time matchup here at the May Day Challenge. Starting with the Lady Pumas, number 21 in white, that's Kalani Brown. Daughter of former NBA star PJ Brown. She is currently ranked as the #1 center prospects as by ProspectsNation.com, and you can see why. The left-handed center, standing 6'5". You can see she's already got a college-ready frame, if not NBA-ready frame, and you see her get that post feed and finish. She's going to be a big reason. You know, whatever the Pumas do here today, she's going to be a big reason why.
As her bucket there makes it a 2-0 advantage. Right back at you comes number 43 from the Cincy Angels, Naomi Davenport.
And Davenport is the other feature player that we could say here in this game for the Cincinnati Angels. Already given her verbal commitment to the University of Michigan. Forward athlete, very versatile, can do a number of different things. It's going to be an exciting matchup here between these two programs.
It's an early 1-point advantage for the Cincy Angels after that Davenport 3. We appreciate you joining us here for the PSB May Day Challenge. Pumas inbound the ball. Dania Charles with it. Going to have a 5-second violation against Charles. Charles looks a little bewildered at that call. I got to say, I thought that plane was broken as well, but the guy whose opinion counts says it was a 5-second violation. Ball back over to the Cincy Angels here in the first half.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup here. You know, not only, you know, do we have those two feature players, both rosters are full of other, you know, key prospects that we'll talk about as the game goes along. That was a 3-point bucket there by number 15, I believe, Julia Jinke, maybe, 2016 prospect out of Bethel, Ohio. So you talk about a non-evaluation weekend, at least as far as NCAA coaches go, and the fact that both of these teams here are able to get this run in here against, you know, quality competition really speaks volumes of the competition here at the May Day Challenge.
Here's Rahima Franklin the other way. No good on the shot. Ball's going to be knocked out of bounds, but not before a foul is called. That'll be the first foul picked up by number 21, Kalani Brown, for the Lady Pumas. Substitution for the Pumas into the game, number 22, DeRay Taylor, as Rahima Franklin has a seat. 6-2 ball game, early advantage for the Cincy Angels. Julia Janique going to be called for the foul, and we do apologize if we're getting Julia's last name wrong there on the pronunciation. She's called for the travel there. She's already got a 3-pointer here in this game. Lady Pumas with it. Figueroa has it. Looking inside, that ball's knocked away by Davenport temporarily. Pumas retain possession. Ball thrown out of bounds there. It'll go back over to the Angels.
Yeah, it was really good defense actually there by the Angels, able to cut off the penetration, you know, on the front side, and then they were able to recover and force Figueroa to throw that basketball out of bounds.
So the Angels have it, and a 4-point advantage here early on. Kick ball there against Kalani Brown. How many times do you see that happen with a post player on the perimeter? I mean, not that a kick ball is a glorified stat, but to be able to have that, you know, that quickness to be able to do that.
So true. You know, just shows her agility, you know, her ability to move her feet. You know, obviously, you know, she does have, you know, elite size, and I think that word elite sometimes gets overused. But in fact, this is what we're talking about here, you know, in the nation. We're only talking about 1 or 2 kids that may have her size, but the fact that she has that size and is able to move, to be able to defend the ball screen like we've seen before, get her feet up off of the ground, that's why we're talking about Kalani Brown as the top post player in the nation right now.
We have a jump ball forced there by the Pumas. Possession arrow is going to send it their way. Correction, they're going to say possession arrow is going to keep it with the Angels. Tough shot there, no good by Braxton Miller. Pumas push it ahead. Dania Charles, no good on the jumper. Rebound there by number 23, Alexa Chrisman. Chrisman back to Miller. Miller can't get that one to go down. Davenport with another opportunity, no good. and that's handled quickly in there by Kalani Brown as he snatches it out of the air.
Kalani stepped right in and says, I'll take care of this.
Gave you guys a shot at it.
Go ahead and clean up this real quickly. But Davenport doing a fine job of herself, you know, cleaning up the glass. And you can see, you know, why the University of Michigan has to be excited about her coming in a few years and playing for the Wolverines. She really strikes me as one of those, you know, kind of inside-out, you know, forwards that not only can rebound and provide strength and athleticism on the interior, but you see her take it coast to coast, show the body control, and be able to finish on the move. That certainly is an elite skill in and of itself.
Foul there going against the Angels. Substitution into the game for the Lady Pumas, 0-0, Caitlin Jenkins. Mid-range jumper, no good. Working there on the glass is Troy Ann Brooks. Brooks going to get it back out to Figueroa.
Brooks plays the 4 position, you know, opposite of Kalani Brown. And then here you got yet another power forward in there. That's Caitlin Jenkins, staying at 6'3", getting her own, you know, offensive rebound and putback. You talk about those three kids together, Brown, Jenkins, and Brooks, and it's going to make it very hard to get any rebounds on the interior versus the Pumas. So Cincinnati responds with a 3-pointer to say, hey, forget about going inside. We can just knock it down from outside.
That was Braxton Miller with that 3-pointer. Very silky-looking Jay there. To make it an 11-4 ball game here early on, with 9:55 left to play here in the first half. Appreciate you joining us here on this Prospects Nation TV webcast. In our game prior to this one, it was a victory for Team Pointer Elite as they got the win over a Georgia Pistols Mario team that played much better than the final score might indicate.
Yeah, that was a good game, very hard fought, and Team Elite hangs on for the win down the stretch.
So we are ready to resume play from the timeout. Cashel Figueroa brings it up for the Lady Pumas. Get it over to Brooks. Taylor inside to Jenkins. Jenkins can't get that one to stay down. Come the Angels running a little bit. Nice job of threading the needle there on the pass.
22, get up, get in it.
By Julia Janique.
Candace, over here, match.
Davenport unable to hold on, so the ball goes back over to the Pumas.
Showing a little token pressure here in the full court. The Angels are a little 2-2-1. Be interesting to see how the Pumas handle it, and in fact, it looks like that they are able to handle it quite easily. That size, you know, Brown to Jenkins right there, makes it very difficult. You know, they can just look right over the top of that press and that trap, and in fact, that's what they end up doing.
11-6 ball game, 5-point advantage for the Cincinnati Angels. Into the game for the Angels, number 4, Michaela Santoro. As well as number 34, Haley Combs. And we've also got the appropriate pronunciation for number 15 there for the Cincinnati Angels is Julia Janicki.
Janicki. I was going to guess that. Of course I was going to guess that, Marcus, but...
No doubt, Hemi. I should have known you were already on top of it, bro. Nice defense being played there by the Pumas. Bring it the other way. Here's Rahima Franklin. Gets it over to Figueroa. I've liked Figueroa's handles. Got a little bit of wiggle in her game here that we've been able to see so far here early on.
There's no doubt about that. I had a chance to watch Figueroa actually 2 years ago at the May Day Challenge. The Lady Pumas with Kalani Brown came down. Figueroa's been one of those point guards that I've had on my list as being one of the more exciting point guards in the United States.
As we see Figueroa with the ball. Number 23 for the Pumas fouled on that play. That's going to go against number 3, Camden Satterwhite. New substitution in for the Angels, number 22, Mackenzie Dixon. And as Satterwhite has a seat also into the game for the Lady Pumas, number 3, Gia Hayes. 5-point advantage for the Angels. Hayes with it up top, and Hayes going to be called for the 5-second violation. I think we see that particular official's paradigm as far as the 5-second violation. If it's anywhere near close or on the fringe, you're going to get called for it.
Yeah. Well, I guess he's going by the letter of the law. You know, 6 feet, I think, is supposed to be the official count right there, and she was within 6 feet for sure, although she was not being pressured.
As Julia Janicki says, yeah, you better get that pronunciation right. I'm balling out here. She gets her second three-pointer. That one could have potentially been a 4-point play there. No foul called, but either way, it's a 14-6 advantage for the Angels.
Well, we've talked about the advantage that the Pumas, you know, obviously have on the interior, but the Angels have done a good job of counteracting that advantage by, you know, hitting some long-range jumpers. But more importantly, I think it's been Naomi Davenport's defensive rebounding that has been key. Now, she picks up the offensive foul there on that particular play. But just the fact that she's able to snag a couple of defensive rebounds and really keep Kalani Brown from just being a putback machine is one of the reasons why we've got a 14-6 lead in favor of the Angels.
Davenport's number 43 in the blue jerseys. Nice job of going up and grabbing that ball by Brown. She's unable to get it, and again, the aforementioned Davenport grabs the rebound. Nice defense being played by the Pumas. They're able to get it out of that corner. Deep three-pointer, just short. From the Pumas the other way, it's in the hands of Troyanne Brooks. Now back up top to Dania Charles. Head coach for the Lady Pumas, Dee Brown. As we see light work, slight work inside by number 21, Kalani Brown.
Well, that's going to be a problem for the Angels right there. If they continue to allow the Angels to get that high-low look, it's going to be a long afternoon, but they're not really worried about that right now because they've got the 3-ball dialed in. And the Pumas may need to make some adjustments here in that transition defense. They're allowing those shooters to get plenty of looks from deep range.
Kayla Santoro with the three-pointer there, 17-8 advantage for the Cincy Angels. Foul going against the Angels there. I believe that foul is going to go against number 34 for the Angels, Haley Combs. Wasn't sure whether they signaled Combs or Davenport for that last foul, and with Davenport checking out, wouldn't be surprised if that was actually against her with her second. Tough take by Troy Ann Brooks. She gets the front end of a three-point play. She'll go to the free throw line to try to finish it.
Really like Brooks's left-handed, four-player, agile enough to be able to guard the wing on the defensive end, on the offensive end. She's a constant threat to be able to pick up offensive rebounds, get second chance opportunities. But more importantly, you know, her agility, her footwork, just her kind of wiggle and athleticism make her a very tough one-on-one matchup for an undersized forward or even a slower forward for that matter.
Angels with the ball and a 7-point advantage. That mid-range J, no good. Rebound inside, Mackenzie Dixon. Sorry, DeRay Taylor with that rebound inside for the Pumas. Troy Ann Brooks with it. They're trying to go inside, pass a little bit too tall there for Alex Weeks. Come the Angels the other way. Braxton Miller up top. Get inside to Combs. Combs. Dash.
Nice turnaround J right there by Combs. I like what both teams are trying to do offensively. You know, really accentuating their strengths. And as we say that, we'll force on the offensive end. And now we got a transition game, but I like what the Pumas are trying to do, you know, with the high-low game, trying to get it inside to the post players. And the Angels doing much of the same thing, you know, isolating, you know, what they feel to be the mismatch and just going to it.
Nice pass right there, unable to finish. Is Taylor. Back over to the Angels. They have a 9-point advantage trying to add to it. Ball knocked out of bounds. Going to stay with the Angels. Subbing back into the game for the Pumas, number 9, Teronica Foster. Number 21, Kalani Brown. As well as double zero, Jenkins.
You know, when you put two big players out there on the court, whether it be Brown and Brooks, Brown and Jenkins, and another nice jumper right there by number 34, Haley Combs. She's having herself a really solid half. You'll notice that they'll bring one of those kids up to the high post and to try to get that high-low.
Makes it look so easy inside there by Kalani Brown. One thing we'll want to watch is with Kalani Brown and Jenkins both being in the game and Davenport being out of the game, even though you've got capable players inside for the Angels, we'll see what effect that has on the boards.
Capable or not, there's not a whole lot of front lines in the nation, I would say, that are just going to be able to shut down that particular combo. They establish themselves so well on the block, and what I like is that they're able to gain angles to score. Now here's what they bring Jenkins up to the high post. And when you bring a big kid like that out to the top of the key, you know, you're not going to be able to get a lot of ball pressure. You know, one of the easiest ways or best ways to prevent post feeds is to get ball pressure. Well, if you put it into a big kid's hands and they can just look right over the top of the defense, now that's going to allow you to be able to put the ball where you want to put it, you know, into the post. And so I really like that scheme there. But right now, it's the Angels have, you know, just had a lot of success at, you know, picking up the pieces, getting defensive rebounds, and of course hitting, you know, several long-range jumpers.
As Naomi Davenport has checked back into the game, we see her miss on the shot attempt there after yet another rebound. Figueroa gets it up top to Foster.
Ooh.
Nice pass by Foster and the finish by Brown.
You should notice that Brown feels so much more comfortable on the left side of the floor, being able to finish. You know, her conversion rate is, you know, so much higher on that side than the other. I would take note of that, and that would be an adjustment that I would make coming into the second half, at least defensively.
Splash from outside by Cashel Figueroa as she adjusts the score and brings them to within 4 points of the Cincinnati Angels as we approach the final minute 30 or so of the first half. Braxton Miller with the ball. Gets it to Davenport. Davenport right at Brown, and Brown going to pick up her second foul.
Well, that's been key, at least early on here in this game, is that Kalani Brown has been able to stay out of foul trouble for the most part. Now here at Peach State basketball events, you get 6 fouls before you foul out. You kind of taking that NBA approach in that way. But with her, with only 2 fouls, you know, she's not going to have to go to the bench in the second half and spend extended time down there. That's going to be key for them.
Into the game for the Angels, number 15, Julia Janicki back into the game, as well as number 33, Samantha Arrington. Second free throw good by Davenport. 5-point advantage for the Cincy Angels. Still right there, and the finish, number 23 for the Angels, Alexa Chrisman.
Chrisman said, hey, now hold on now. She may be 6'5", but I got a little bit of length myself. And she breaks up that press offense real quickly.
Pushes the lead back to 7 for the Angels. Shell Figueroa, strong take, no good. Caitlin Jenkins has it knocked out of bounds. It was last touch there by Chrisman. Back into the game for the Lady Pumas, number 35, Troyanne Brooks. Kalani Brown's going to get a breather. Brooks for 3. No good. Figueroa gets another opportunity. He was trying to go across the court to Brooks. The rim there kind of thwarting that attempt.
Yeah, got in her way a little bit. Good matchup, though, Marcus. Good matchup of teams. Very evenly matched. You can see that, you know, a number of talented prospects going both ways here. I'm excited for this second half.
We've got 35 seconds left in the first. We'll see whether the Angels decide to hold for the last shot here or take the first and best available. We'll see out of the timeout. As we mentioned with Kalani Brown, her father, P.J. Brown, member of the NBA, he played for, played for the Heat, played for the Hornets, played for, a nice list of teams. Solid NBA veteran tenure.
Well, I don't know if it's just because we pay attention to it a lot more, but here lately, a lot more women basketball players, coming from, notable, professional athletes. When you talk about Kayla Davis and, the daughter of Antonio Davis, and of course Diamond DeShields being the daughter of Delino DeShields. So it's always one of those interesting side notes of women's athletics to see who their fathers were.
Nice set there by the Angels. Gets them the shot they want. They don't knock it down, but they'll get another opportunity. Here's Janicki for 3. No good. Looks like we're going to have a foul that's going to go against Naomi Davenport. That's going to be her 3rd foul.
That's a tough foul with just a second left in this half.
Hey, get your man. Hey, Sam, don't gamble. Don't gamble, Katie. Don't gamble.
So the Pumas have 9/10 of a second to work with. Football pass.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Foster unable to get that one off in time.
That's one of those things that you've got to learn as a player. Got to know how much time is there and what type of shot you can get off. With .9 probably not enough time to get a dribble in. Obviously, it was going to be tough regardless, but it's one of those things that you've got to have running in your mind. Second left, 2 seconds left, 3 seconds left. How many dribbles can I get?
Most definitely. That'll do it for the first half. We got about 1:30 left in halftime. We'll catch you back here shortly for the second half. Cincy Angels versus the Lady Pumas. And we are ready to start the second half here on Prospects Nation TV. Marcus Burnett, the SUV, joined by Coach Hemmy, J.L. Hemingway here, as we've got a nice matchup between the Lady Pumas and the Cincy Angels. It definitely didn't disappoint. Second half's underway. Hemmy, what are going to be some of the key dynamics you're going to look at as far as the first half, how it went, and what do you think are going to be the deciding factors in this one?
Well, it's pretty obvious what the Pumas want to do. They want to try to get into that high-low game where they can get the ball to the high post of one of their power forwards and then try to feed it inside to Kalani Brown. If they do that, they're going to be very successful. Obviously, the playmaking of Figueroa is going to be key, certainly. But if they can kind of play that type of game, I think that they're going to be successful. Now, the Cincy Angels have done a great job of shooting the basketball, hitting several, deep range jumpers. But one thing that they've done a very solid job of at this point is working the defensive glass. Now, they do give up an offensive rebound right there, but the work by Naomi Davenport and others have really been key in keeping Brown and Jenkins and Brooks from controlling this game overall.
We see nice hustle there displayed by both teams. Naomi Davenport and Michelle Figueroa going after it on that. It'll be Cincinnati Angels ball. Braxton Miller with it. Going to get it over to Davenport. Back over to Miller. Miller's got Troy Ann, Brooks Gardner. They try to get it inside to Chrisman. Shot attempt there by Satterwhite's no good. Here come the Lady Pumas the other way. Dania Charles has that shot blocked there. Looked like Jenicky got a hand on it. Ball gonna go out of bounds off of Miller and stay with the Pumas. Checking back into the game, 0-0, Caitlin Jenkins. Working inside is Jenkins. No good on the shot. Miller with the rebound.
Pumas are getting some good looks in there. They're just going to have to convert a little bit better, more efficiently.
See Troy Ann Brooks chase down the long rebound. Miscommunication. That pass was intended for Taylor, but it sails out of bounds. That'll be a turnover by the Pumas. Ball back over to the Angels. Into the game for the Pumas, number 24, Kyla Williams. And also back in number 2, Rahima Franklin. Wide open look for Davenport.
Boy. Yes, sir. And there's why you can see that Davenport's earned a 4-star rating as by ProspectsNation.com. You talk about a kid that can rebound, you know, push the ball up in transition, and then be able to hit the jumper like that, you know, with the soft touch. Quite a talented kid.
Yeah, Coach Dante Harlan had already had the fist pump ready when she took that shot, knew it was going to be a good one. So we're going to have a foul there. Be Pumas ball. They get it in the hands of Rahima Franklin. 27-17. We've got Brandon Clay joining us here on the mic. Brandon, you gave me a great synopsis going into this one, and I got to tell you, man, this matchup hasn't disappointed at all.
Well, it's been interesting. I think from the Pumas' perspective, you know, the inability to consistently score the ball. They've gotten some looks, as you saw right there on the perimeter, the pull back into the three-pointer there from Figueroa. Just some stuff hasn't dropped. You know, Hayes has given them some good minutes. I actually had a chance to watch her last year at one of our events. So they've gotten some good stuff on the perimeter. And then obviously Brown, Jenkins, you know, you'll look for Brooks to be even more active here in the next 3 or 4 minutes once she gets back into the game and gets going. You know, so they've got play on the interior. Now it's just finding a way to turn that play into points and into possessions in which they can narrow this gap.
They have the ball right now. That pass was intended for Jenkins, goes off of her, and unfortunately for Figueroa, she hadn't established herself in back before touching that one. So ball back over to the
break, man. I tell you what, I've been really impressed. I say that and immediately tell you I've been impressed with the Angels. Great pass there from Davenport, man. You get a slash and bucket there at the rim from Satterwhite. Their ability, and you're going to see 3 more checking in. You're fine. Their ability to be able to make plays with multiple players, I think Davenport obviously being the engine, but there have been a lot of kids that have contributed to this lead for them so far. And even though they haven't scored a ton of points, they've really locked in on the defensive end and made it hard, man.
So we see all the attention being drawn by Davenport. Yeah. Meanwhile, you've got Chrisman picking up the pieces.
Well, Dante Harlan does a great job. You know, he actually coached at Mount Notre Dame High School there up in the Cincinnati area some years back. Did a great job there. That's actually how we were introduced to him. Kyle Moore, International Director of Scouting. At that point in time, there was no international just yet, Mark. It still was a national project, and got us connected with Dante after watching him coach in a high school tournament, and was really, really impressed with his ability. Exactly what he's doing now. Manage the game, manage personnel, and put the right people in the right spots, and you're seeing that right here.
14-point advantage for his Cincinnati Angels, and I think you hit the nail on the head right when you jumped on the webcast. A lot of it for the Pumas has been shots just not going down.
Yeah. Well, they got some good looks. I mean, even in the first half, you talk about Kalani Brown. They had a nice high-low seal from Brooks to Brown, and she finished it with her left hand. A couple possessions before that, she got the ball on the interior, another left-hand finish. We talked about this in the last game. How do you find ways to manufacture those types of possessions consistently? And you're going to have to do that now 4 or 5 times here in the next 3 or 4 minutes, because you've got to get this into the, once we talk about this a lot, that 5 to 7 area here before you get into that 7-minute mark, because the Angels are too good. You look at their team defense, they're in help side, they're 1 pass away. They're all the things that you want to see from a structured organization. They're going to bring that to the table.
Pumas looking inside. Tough shot right there. It's no good. Save attempt there. Gia Hayes. She steps out of bounds in doing so. Back over to the Angels.
Well, and you saw him try to post Williams up there. Now Brown's coming back in, and so is Brooks, as you would expect right now. If they can get that same post action now for either Brooks or for Brown, those are kids that when you put them in that position more times than not, they're going to be in a spot where they can finish and convert the play.
Naomi Davenport with the ball. She's been doing it all here in this game. She's been able to score some, been great on the glass.
And Kim's going to love her there at Michigan. I mean, just right on cue. There's the pass. Now, you've seen 2 passes. You've seen her play some on the wing. You've seen her play some inside. You know, I would like to call her in that regard, you know, kind of a hybrid forward, maybe not a 3, maybe not a 4. You know, just a kid that can make a play. There's that high-low action. Brown is a large individual. She bumped Santoro into the next zip code, man.
Jenicky misses that one.
Oh, you got to catch it first. Doesn't get possession there to Brooks. They're going to turn that over. But to finish my thought on Davenport, she just does so many different things well. In that regard, reminds me of Olivia Jones, if you remember that name, from Riverdale High School, helped lead them to a national championship in 2013, moved on to Middle Tennessee State and had a banner summer with Tennessee Flight a couple of summers ago. Davenport has that kind of feel as we head into the summer.
Great comparison. We see Jenicky get it over the brim. Davenport going baseline.
Well, she's playing. She's playing. Misses that shot, but that's a heck of a move there on the baseline to attack the rim. Great rebound there by Brown to get it out. Now, the Pumas have got to find a way here in the next 3 minutes, right at the 11-minute mark here, Marcus. By the time they get into that 7.5-minute mark, they've got to find a way to get this thing down into about that 9 to 10 range and maybe able to come back with one more run to get it inside of 4 minutes.
Figueroa with it. Can't get the jumper to go. Gonna have a foul there. It's gonna go against Katie Brim.
She's working her behind off on the interior. Brown is a handful and then some, but she's doing a heck of a job, and even though she got called for the foul, doing a heck of a job of just keeping the body on her, not letting her have that live body loose to get free chip shots and free stuff around the rim.
Checking back into the game for the Pumas, number 4, Danae Charles, as well as number 2, Rahima Franklin.
And a turnover here on the backcourt violation. Brown's going to get a blow here for a minute, but they just have struggled to find the consistency. I thought even in the first half, sitting with Clyde Pritchett up top and just kind of watching the game and observing the game, they struggled to find that consistency that you're going to need to get post players involved, Marcus.
Angels have it. That shot blocked out by Caitlin Jenkins.
Well, their length is incredible. You know, I mentioned Jenkins. She was in the game when I got on the mic. And whether it's her length, whether it's the length of a Weeks, I mean, they got 4, maybe even 5 kids when you throw Williams in there who are all right in that 6 foot or above mark. You got to find a way to be able to utilize those pieces and get some buckets. But, you know, getting Figueroa going would be big. She's shown that she's a willing scorer on the perimeter, and they need somebody to help unclog the lane.
Splashes the first free throw. Figueroa out of Warren Easton High School.
Good shot there.
That free throw brings them to within 14 points. As number 22, DeRay Taylor, checks back into the game for the Lady Pumas. Mackenzie Dixon has it for the Cincy Angels.
Oh, what a great move. Way to get to the rim now. What a great move.
You highlighted the other pieces beyond just Naomi Davenport for this Cincy Angels team. You see Mackenzie Dixon at the free throw line, but talk about some of the other players and prospects around Davenport.
Well, you know what? It's almost hard. You know, they have so many kids, whether you talk about Satterwhite, who made that slashing play earlier. You talk about Brim on the other end, keeping her body on Kalani Brown. You talk about Santora, Michaela Santora, number 4, who hit that three-pointer earlier from the wing. She actually came to Fab 5 camp back in the fall time. They just have so many different pieces in different ways. It's almost like a puzzle, you know, where Dante Allman has assembled it, where he's got 11 or 12 kids that he can go to at any given moment and be able to make some positive things happen. So, you know, honestly, Davenport, like I said, is kind of the motor of the engine. But when you start to talk about complementary pieces in that regard, they're almost like a team elite pointer where it becomes hard to start to single out the kids around that motor. It's just all of them. Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. Turnover there for the Angels. Haven't been able to say that a lot really during this game. I'm sure the Pumas will take it. They've got it in the hands of DeRay Taylor. They're down 14. We talked about them getting it to a more manageable 9 or 10 points. We'll see if they're able to try to build a little momentum here and do so.
Well, they've done a good job. I mean, that's a great possession, a great example. Taylor gets them across the half court, gets them into an offense. They get the ball in Williams' hands high. You can tell they want to go high-low there for Jenkins. It doesn't work. Williams makes a nice drive to the basket, and the Angels are right there to make that a difficult shot, get their hand on it, and not let it come. You know, Taylor Foster there getting their hands on that, kind of doing what Brim did, keeping the body out. You see him showing on the screen. The help side comes over. Very well could have been a charge call there in terms of the placement. You're just watching the Angels play the game and make every single possession difficult. When's the last contested layup in transition? They're just not getting those things, where the Angels on the other end have been able to push it a couple times and make the game easy for themselves.
The Angels get it in. Haley Combs gets it over to Dixon. Dixon doing a great job at the helm here in this stint. That pass intended for Foster. Other way, another layup won't go for the Pumas.
Well, even that one there is a tough shot. You know, Combs doesn't give up on the play, Combs doesn't give up on the play and is able to force that to be a high arcing layup as opposed to an uncontested. A lot of kids give up on that play and allow that to become an easy situation, and that's not what that was. That was a very well contested shot attempt.
Gonna have a foul there against the Angels. It'll stay with the Pumas. Checking into the game for the Lady Pumas, number 9, Teronica Foster. It's a nice play in the first half where we saw Foster kind of split through the defense and drop a nice dime to Brown.
It's funny, I was just about to say the same thing. She did a good job. Oh my gosh. Oh.
We have a dangerous tie up there. Everybody holding their breath collectively there, but glad to see both players getting up.
Well, you got to love the effort. I mean, everybody's playing this game hard. They understand the importance of making it to the championship tomorrow, and then obviously have the opportunity to be back here on SUV TV. They're all very well aware. Their coaches came a long way in both cases for these groups to come and have this opportunity, so they definitely want to seize the moment.
Pumas get it inbound.
Oh, good move. Once again, there's an Angels player on the backside and help contesting the shot.
And floater won't go there for Taylor.
Boy, they're getting some good shots, Marcus. I mean, contested or not contested. They're getting good shots, but then you see the Angels, once again, they're getting uncontested layups. They're getting easy shots, and the Pumas, it just has not worked out in the flow of the game where they can get that done.
As Riley Parkhurst gets the layup for the Angels, they get another hand on a Puma shot. The ball's blocked out of bounds there by number 34, Haley Combs.
Well, it's interesting with the 8-minute mark, 35-19 in favor of the Angels, Marcus. I think if you go back and look at something, okay, what is one key to this game, the reason why the Angels were, number one, able to get the lead they were able to get, and then number two, keep the Pumas at bay and keeping them from being able to score it and kind of get rolling. I think that would be what I'm pointing to, is that the Pumas, whether it's three-pointers, whether there have been hardly any uncontested shots for them whatsoever. Even the Brown shots that I mentioned earlier, there was a body on her. She just turned and made a couple of good plays. So there just have not been a lot of opportunities for them in this game where they've had shots and there has not been an Angels defender laying on their body or in their face.
Back into the game for the Angels, number 14, Braxton Miller, as well as number 33, Samantha Arrington.
I like Miller as a young prospect freshman, good size, plays multiple positions, has shown that she can handle the basketball, but also be able to obviously play off of it. That's what we talked about with the different pieces that Dante's got. You know, Miller definitely fits that as she attacks here to the lane.
Gets a trip to the charity stripe within 30 seconds of checking into the game.
Thanks for making me look intelligent, kid. I appreciate that.
She goes to the free throw line after touching base with Coach Dante Harlan.
When you have to like Miller's willingness to attack there, knowing that Kalani Brown is sitting there waiting, knowing that you've got Brooks guarding you, who very well could be a kid who creeps her way into all 100 rankings or even 150 on the expansion come the end of the summer. You've got two kids, two bona fide high Division I recruits waiting on you, and yet and still 2 years their junior, you're going to attack that rim and make sure that they know you're there.
Nice assist there by Figueroa, the finish by Brooks.
Well, there was an opportunity for Brooks. I mean, there was an Angel in the vicinity, but not nearly the type of contestant they've been able to get. And another open shot there for the Cincy Angels, and they're able to knock it down, man.
Riley Parkhurst had a layup minutes ago, gets a three-pointer there.
Well, and that was a great play, as Coach Hemme would say, CoachHemme.com. Nice shot there from Figueroa. But the Euro, where Miller was able to dribble, drive, and attack. Steve Nash did this really well years ago in Dallas. Dribble, drive, attack, reverse pivot, see the shooter, and then just leave it in the shooter's lap and allow them to knock it down. Is she going to take that? Oh, I thought she was going to take that, Marcus.
It would have been a huge one for momentum if she could have taken that and knocked it down after that steal. Naomi Davenport, number 43, checks back into the game for the Cincinnati Angels, as well as number 3, Candace Satterwhite.
That's a good break of time for the both of them now coming back in to be ready to close this out. Yeah, it's a tough move if you're Satterwhite. Kalani Brown does a good left to right. A lot of players, as big as she is, don't move well. You see her there contest. Great move to finish by Davenport. But you see Brown twice on the same possession. Close out to the three-point line, make life difficult for the driver. Just a great finish there by Davenport.
Yeah, she moves great for her size. Hemme and I talked about it in the first half.
Yep.
You know, a kick ball is not something that you'll find in the box score, but how many times do you see a post player defending on the perimeter kick a ball?
Not often, man. I really like that high-low action they've gotten a couple times. Brown doesn't finish that one, but Brooks. Davenport takes a hit, see what's going on there, but Brooks is looking for her. Brooks is a willing passer from that forward spot, and I think you definitely would look at her as an athletic forward with the ability to make some plays, you know, a little different skill base-wise than Davenport, but effective all the same, and the fact that she's looking for Brown on the interior already bodes well for her future as she'll play alongside somebody with Brown size.
Pumas inbound the ball. They trail by 17.
There by Hayes. Good move. It's interesting. Hayes' movements as a ball player remind me of Victoria Carter. Played at Norcross. Actually went to Charlotte. Now is moving on to Prairie View A&M. She actually is in the building. Her younger sister is playing with a team here in the tournament. Now Hayes looks like, in terms of the way that she's slinky, can get to the rim and do some different things, looks like her as a high school prospect.
She picks up the steal there. Gets it ahead to Franklin. Franklin to Brooks. Jenkins going to end up finishing. She'll have a chance for a three-point play the hard way here at the line.
That's a great finish. It's a great finish there. I mean, her size, Jenkins long-term, and her ability to be able to make a play. If she can finish like that consistently over the course of her career, as she gets better, you can't teach that size. We talk about Brooks playing with an interior kid. It could be Kalani Brown. It could be a kid with size like Jenkins, but either way, a legitimate back-to-basket option, and that's what Jenkins provides at the next level.
I love how the players with size move here for this Pumas team. I mean, across the board, you talk about Jenkins, Brooks, and Brown. I mean, that's a nice 1-2-3 punch there.
It is. Well, being able to get them the ball effectively and efficiently in positions where they can make plays is always a challenge. And then being able to stop Miller on the other end. She has a hand in her face and hits that three. That's a heck of a shot there from the young kid.
Well, it's going to be fun to watch her development over the next few years, man. She's looking very solid as a freshman out there. We see her running the floor here. Pass a little bit too far ahead. And that'll go back over to the Pumas. Brooks ahead to Franklin.
Well, it seems every time the Pumas, as you see Brooks attack, not able to finish it. Every time the Pumas seem to be close to getting some momentum, the Angels hit a couple of jumpers. They get an easy basket. There's Jenkins playing hard, finishing through the contact. But you know, credit the Angels and what Dante Alden and his group have done today, whether it's Miller, whether it's Satterwhite, whether it's Davenport, you know, you name it. They've gotten it from a lot of different places. Parkhurst, who's going to step out of the game, included. Every time they've needed a couple of buckets to stop what looks like could be a potential Pumas run, they've gotten it done.
Yep. That's an understatement. Jenkins at the free throw line gets the three-point play. 15-point ball game.
I like Jenkins. Like, the raw upside, you watch what she could be and what you project her to be at the next level, and her size and ability. You saw that last play there, Marcus. Gathers the ball, takes the bump, finishes through the contact, and also finishes the free throw. College coaches nationwide salivating over a prospect like that.
Janicki to inbound the ball.
Oh, way to read the double there. Got him.
Braxton Miller three-pointer on the way.
Got him. You leave that kid open with her feet set, that's going in, period. It just is. You get the ball on the reversal. And when you have a kid like Miller, honestly, Marcus, Satterwhite who can slash it, we've seen it, Miller who can shoot it, and Davenport who will pass it, it becomes extremely hard now to trap, to try to create the pressure you need to create under the 4-minute mark, down 18 to be able to get the buckets you need, because there's somebody in every single position. I talked about the puzzle pieces earlier, and that's just a great example, that last possession there.
Like we discussed, every time you see the Lady Pumas make a momentum play, it's an answer right back. Braxton Miller's three-pointer was on that last possession. Tough foul right there as the Lady Pumas continue to fight here. Nothing easy inside.
No question. When we talk about takeaways from the game, I think one of the things, you know, in addition, obviously, to Miller being a quality young prospect is, you know, Davenport's ability from the wing to catch, dribble, drive, and attack. That's something she's very comfortable doing. Even in that secondary trail spot, a lot of the college coaches now like to run that 4-out motion. So that's a kid, you know, once again, talking about Michigan, where she's going, you can project her playing quality minutes even at the power forward position. Coach Barnes-Rico pulling everybody out, finding a mismatch. Hey, you're going to have to find a way to guard this kid. Period. Choose the free throw well, so you got to believe they're going to be able to have her shoot that trail three on the secondary break. And if you want to close out on her, she's going to go right by you.
Layup missed there by Figueroa. Caitlin Jenkins continuing to work inside. Another rebound and layup for her.
Her energy has been really impressive. You know, her and then Brooks as well. Definitely want to make sure that I mention those two, because they've been a nice tandem in addition to Kalani Brown, who we knew about coming into the game already. You know, I actually talked with Rashad Baker and Coach Brown about Brooks, and they were excited, obviously, to have Jenkins on their roster as well. And we're getting a first-hand look at exactly why they're so high on these kids.
So we're going to have the Pumas inbounding the ball. Figueroa gets it to Brown.
Nice post feed there. Now, let me talk about what the next step is going to be. First of all, that is a heck of a double down from the wing, from Janicki there, to know what's coming, double down, and be able to get her hands on that basketball with two. But for Brown, it's going to be the ability to catch, feel like she did, turn, and be able to use that right hand on the half hook. She loves to come back left, dominant left hand, and we expect to see that in high school prospects. As she progresses, and I'm sure this isn't the first time that she's heard that, you know, with PJ and her mom in her ear, you know, but being able to come back, and now once they've taken that left hand away from you, once they make that adjustment, being able to use that right hand to be able to finish it.
Coming back into the game for the Pumas, number 22, DeRay Taylor.
Braxton Miller is coaching right in front of us as she comes out of the game.
Tell me, man, you already highlighted her solid play as a prospect. She's only going to continue to get better.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Are you kidding me? That's awesome, man. You know, it's hard to find takeaways and gems, you know, inside of a game where, you know, the Pumas have not been able to get the type of consistency that they want offensively. Oh, collision.
Very tough collision there. That's Naomi Davenport as well as Dania Charles, both hitting each other head on. So both coaches, both benches taking time to make sure these players are okay.
Both of them took a tough fall there as they ran into each other.
Yeah.
The athletic trainer on the way out to take a look at both of these young ladies and make sure that they're okay.
2 minutes, 28 seconds left to play in this one. As Charles is going to get helped up for the Lady Pumas. Davenport taking a second. It's been a contested game on both ends here. You talked about having, being able to find takeaways in a game where, the Pumas haven't really had as much momentum as they have liked. And at the end of the day, they're competing. I think that's a big part of what summer basketball is about.
Yeah, no question. No question. It's one of those things, you never want to see anybody get hurt, get injured, anything like that. Two kids really competing and going hard. And just a loose ball play.
Yeah.
Two kids playing hard, no shots were taken, anything like that. But you hate to see that, as well as those kids have been playing, to see a kid like Davenport go out and take the hit. Braxton Miller literally just checked herself back in. That's awesome. She goes to Dr. Holland, yeah, me, right? I'm going in, right? Me? Doctor's like, yeah, you.
Not only just, producing, box score wise for Miller, but I love the intangibles we've seen from her here in this game, man. We'll have two more semifinal webcasts for you later this evening, 8:10 p.m. and 9:20 p.m. Be sure to stay tuned for those. The 8:10 p.m. game will feature Georgia Pistols Martin and Asia Durr taking on, insert the second team here. I'm going to take a second, remember that second team. My apologies on that. Meanwhile, I'm kind of focused on the game at hand. It's a lot of talent on the floor to remember the second team for that 8-10 matchup. So I apologize, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, you said it real nicely, though. You left us with a nice cliffhanger there, man. I love it.
Actually, it doesn't take too long, man. It's the Douglasville Lady Tigers. The program that plays that hard. How could I forget those guys?
Hey, it happens to the best of us, man. We all have moments. It's cool, man. You see Miller right here with the ISO up top. Another kick ball, as you mentioned earlier, there for the Pumas getting after it defensively. But, here in this last 2 minutes, being able to take care of the basketball is going to be at a premium. Heaven forbid you give a team as good as the Pumas an opportunity to crawl back in this thing with an uncontested layup or two off the turnover.
Chrisman with the ball.
Well, there's another example right there. Just once again, being able to pick up and put some pressure on there. Almost got a 5-second count, Marcus.
Yeah. Foul ends up going against Caitlin Jenkins. Checking back into the game for the Angels, number 34, Haley Combs. Get it in bounds to Miller. Here's Jenicky with the mid-range. No good on the shot. Rebound by Figueroa.
That's a good-looking shot. Kalani Brown, though, with the nice goal. Good step through. I've been really impressed with her. The shot hasn't fallen as much as she's liked, but her skill with the basketball in terms of Figueroa, and you see it there with that step through to the left-hand finish, has been really impressive.
They pull it to within 11 points. With the sixth man in the form of the game clock on the side of the Cincinnati Angels right now, as they're going to spread out a little bit and run some of it off.
Well, now you bring, talk about matchups. You force Kalani Brown to come out and guard a kid like Satterwhite. Send Satterwhite to the line. The Angels have a chance to ice the game here over the next couple of possessions from the free throw line.
Candace Satterwhite out of Lakota East High School at the free throw line. Caitlin Jenkins going to have a seat. She's deserved any ounce of rest that she's able to get. Rebound inside by Brown.
Got to score it here in a hurry.
Brown with the rebound, strong move inside. Nice job of sticking in there, knocking it out of bounds by Combs. A little bit of rondo there by Figueroa.
That never gets old, man.
They pull it to within 9. If they're going to find a way to come back in this one, they're going to have to get some help from the Angels in the form of missed free throws. And to be honest, that looks like an unlikely possibility right now.
Well, the hole was too deep. You know, they dug a hole and couldn't get rolling offensively. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the count was 35-18, somewhere in there, before Jenkins was kind of able to get it rolling, get a couple of easy free throws. Figueroa hit a couple of shots. It was good. It just, you know, honestly, from a scoring perspective, it was just a little bit later than you needed against a quality team like the Angels and a quality opponent.
It's going to send number 34, Combs, to the line for the Angels. Coach Brown gets a timeout for the Pumas. 4.9 seconds left to play in this one. 7-point advantage for the Angels.
Well, you know, you talk about two people who are going to coach their teams until the final buzzer, you know, and that's a situation where for both Coach Harlan and for Coach Brown, they're going to lock in, use these as teaching moments. It's a long summer ahead of them. This by no means is the end, and, you know, get prepared for anything they've got coming after this, whether it be Memorial Day weekend or then obviously the July live period.
We're about ready to resume play from the timeout. As Brandon mentioned earlier, be sure to be with us tomorrow as we'll have the championship game in this bracket here live on Prospects Nation TV. Missed by Combs. And that is going to do it for this one. So the Cincinnati Angels have earned themselves a spot in the championship in their bracket. Solid effort by the Pumas, but the Angels come out on top. I'm Marcus Burnett with Brandon Clay. Thank you for joining us here on